Support WrestleTalk!
Give us a subscribe.
Samoa Joe nearly just got fired by Paige. I'm Ollie Davis. This is the other one, Luke Owen. Welcome to the WrestleRamble review edition of SmackDown, where the show kicked off last night with Paige in the middle of the ring, and she's addressing that epic cliffhanger that we had last week, which is where Samoa Joe went to AJ Styles' home again. You knew it was AJ Styles' home because it had Styles on the post box outside, and he went up AJ's front lawn. This is not a euphemism. He went up to the door. He had a little gift for AJ's daughter. And then he goes, Daddy's home. And that's where it ended. All the while AJ is begging Joe to not go in his house. And then it opens this week, the follow-up of that. Because last week we were we loved that angle. I loved that angle in particular. Weirdly positive at the moment with WWE. It's strange.
Captain in awe.
Yeah, maybe it's not them. Maybe it's just me. Mm-hmm. And they're not doing anything
You're just
different.
in a really good mood because you know that the finish line of the new studio is in sight.
Potentially.
And maybe that is just raising your spirits.
Or just, I love big events. And when have we ever had so many big events in WWE's calendar at one time?
Well, I mean, and it really was a big event. But I'm curious, because you and I have not discussed this yet, how you feel the payoff to it was.
Right, okay, yes. So we were due, I mean big events like Super Showdown.
Oh,
SmackDown
I see what you mean,
1000,
right?
But sure, the last week we were like, well, this is great, but kind of like the Aiden English stuff, how do you pay off on this next week? Because it's not like you can pick it up right away and Joe is in AJ's house toying with the family and stuff, because a week's passed since then.
Yes.
And AJ really should have gone for it.
These episodes of SmackDown Live are not like watching something on Netflix.
Yeah.
Where an episode will end and then it's like starting the next episode in 20 seconds.
Yeah, a week in real time has passed.
Yes.
So that's why it's weird when people don't talk in between these tapings. They're like, I haven't seen them since last Monday.
Yeah, but sometimes they try and like get around. It's like, I've been sending them texts. I've been sending them DMs and they've not been responding.
So the way round this was, this week's episode opened with Paige in the ring, and she addressed Samoa Joe's heinous actions.
She called it the most dastardly crime, dastardly being a heck of a Vince McMahon word, the most dastardly crime in WWE history. Now, that is quite some hyperbole right there. And
it's a hyperbole company.
I know, but and this happens later on in the show as well when Corey Graves says that Randy Orton's attack on Ty Dillinger is the most devastating attack he's ever seen. Problem is, when you just say it all the time, it just means nothing.
Yeah.
And it's and it's funny as well, because I think a lot of the reactions I've seen to this segment online are people just poking fun at that. Because it is a frankly ridiculous line of dialogue.
And it just opens them up to too much criticism, because there's quite a big crime that happened in real life. Dave Meltzer pointed this out when someone said, "Hey, Dave, what is the biggest crime in your opinion?" And he goes, "Well, probably Chris Benoit's double murder, suicide."
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah. Jimmy,
that's awful.
Jimmy Snooker's another one.
Yeah.
Allegedly, there's lots of crimes, real life crimes, but also just like in storyline crimes, and that line didn't need to be there. And I think what then sort of makes that line worse is that Paige then reveals that no crime was really committed, because they said that AJ Styles' family, Joe didn't even get it through the front door. He just rang the doorbell. And they managed to call the cops, and the cops arrived, and Joe was taken away, and charges were filed and whatnot. So Joe, in their version of events, Joe rang the doorbell and then the cops were there.
Or he rang the doorbell and ran off and hid behind the bush.
Yeah, I was going to say, just play Knock Knock Ginger.
Yeah, Knockdown Ginger, we called it. Maybe he lit a pile of feces for someone to come out and stamp on. Hilarious hijinks. So
really, Knock Knock Ginger, in the grand scheme of WWE events, is not the most dastardly crime in WWE history.
Knockdown Ginger, I haven't said that since I was a kid.
Neither have I.
Why is it called that?
No,
for American listeners, if you call it something else, it's just where you knock on someone's door and
then
run away.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Up north, we used to call it Knock Knock Leggett.
Yes.
But Knock Knock Ginger is what we called it down south.
Yeah, we called it Knockdown Ginger.
So as weird as that, yeah. different colloquial terms for the same prank.
So maybe we're being, politically incorrect, and we just sorry, Sheamus, sorry, Becky Lynch, sorry, all the redheads, in the world, if we've offended you. But so I guess that, or maybe Samoa Joe could be lurking outside. That's not the bit I've got a problem with. It's just so like in terms of kayfabe and would this play out in real life, that's not the bit that's got me. And to be honest, not much of this segment got me. It was just a bit middling after a really hot a really hot angle last week to close the show, and then this is your go home angle. I just think it was a wasted opportunity. We've been saying that we want to see Joe in AJ's house, sitting down for dinner with them for ages. So why can't you just have the thing where this week it opens up with a video package of what happened? Samoa Joe was on his phone, so you just have a little film that Joe's made. And it's like, oh, hi, Wendy, how's it going? Kiss her on the cheek, look into the camera devilishly. Oh, hi, AJ's daughter. Nice to see you again. Here's the dolly. Oh, yes, I will. Yeah, if I'm not putting you out, I would love to have dinner with you, Styles family.
Absolutely.
And you just play this.
Really intimidating as well, because you can then have Styles' wife and child looking very terrified that this intimidating man has just walked in.
I think it's more scary if they're not in on it.
But surely they would be in it, because we saw them at SummerSlam.
But they were more scared that AJ went so far.
But they know, surely, that Joe is the catalyst for that.
I get it, yeah. So you can have all that play out this week, as opposed to what they did do, which was Paige says this rather stupid claim that just opens up too many holes of, this is the most heinous act ever, when you could have just said, this is a heinous act.
Yes.
And that gets it over a lot more. Otherwise, it just becomes like a sales pitch for everything is the biggest thing in history, whenever that becomes like white noise after a while. And then they do the whole thing about, management said that Joe should be fired, which is what the title of this thing relates to. But AJ said, no, I want the match with him at Super Showdown. And then we cut to a video with AJ in his living room doing AJ acting.
I thought this was better than last week. I thought AJ was quite good here, actually. I really enjoyed AJ's performance, personally.
Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad you did. I didn't hate it. Joe's so good. And why put people in these positions if that's not their strength? AJ's strength is wrestling. Just, emphasise that. When was the last time he wrestled on SmackDown?
Well, it's probably a couple of weeks ago in Almas or something along those lines. But I think that's really, for me, it's not it was the most dastardly act or dastardly crime in WWE history. It wasn't Paige's claims. It wasn't the kayfabe holes of, like, the police showed up. And it wasn't AJ's acting that really put a downer for me on this segment. I think you were sort of in agreement with me here as well. This was the go-home segment. Like, this is the go-home show for Super Showdown. It's a big-time match. This is the third time they're having this match. In theory, it might be the last time they have this match, going by the way that WWE usually book feuds. So this might be the last time encounter. And they're crowning a new number one contender at Super Showdown. So really, you'd think this is the end of this feud. And AJ and Joe were not on this show. AJ had this one segment here. No Joe whatsoever. No promo. No match. No video package. There was absolutely nothing. As soon as this segment ended, you may as well have not mentioned this match at all, like, throughout the show. And I think that's such a disappointment, because you had such a hot angle last week. And I don't want to say it was a wet fart of a follow-up, but it was certainly a fart of a follow-up. It wasn't a great follow-up to what was really good last week. And although knowing SmackDown, we'll probably get the payoff for it in 5 weeks' time.
Yeah,
and then it'll be really good.
Well, I get, like, Paige is very angry with Joe, so that's a reason why he's not on the rest of the show. But that doesn't mean he can't run in and do something.
Absolutely, yeah.
And AJ has this little clip, and he says in it, I'm not going to leave my family until I know Joe is out of the country. But when he said that, and people realised he wasn't on the show, they booed.
Exactly. He said, I'm not going to be there tonight. I'm really sorry, I'm not going to be on the show tonight.
And I get, like, this is a babyface character. He wants to protect his family. Totally good. I feel it needed a better performance or a better promo, though, to make that not a heel thing. Like, it's not like this came off as cowardly, but you need to cut a better promo for the audience not to boo you for not being there and protecting your family. Like,
Yeah.
that's on you, not the audience, I think. But then, like, as soon as he said, I'm not there tonight, that said to me, oh, he's here tonight. So he'll show up in the main event, and that will be your go-home angle.
Yeah.
And then when it was like 10 minutes after the episode finished, I was, having a shave, and I went, oh no, that never paid off.
Yeah.
And there was this weird line at the end of AJ's promo. When I see you at Super Showdown, I'm gonna bury you alive.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to put you, when I meet you down under, I'm going to leave you down under, or something along those lines. It's like, I'm going to bury you alive, which almost felt like they were building towards a buried alive match.
Yeah. It's a weird choice of words. It's like to say...
Oh, what if that's going to be a SmackDown 1000? They'll do the buried alive match on
but
SmackDown
why
1000.
does that, of all, like, we say this isn't the right stipulation for this, having a no DQ match after... Well, when you need like a second referee, you need more rules in place after the last finish. Mm-hmm. And
no, it makes total sense.
it
makes total sense.
A no DQ to a buried alive finish. So the finish for this will be like, I don't know, double tap out. Well, there's only one way to settle this.
Yeah, buried alive.
Buried alive. Like, it's like saying in a promo in a feud. I'm just trying to think of a ridiculous stipulation now. Like, well, I guess I'm going to beat you up so bad you're going to feel like you've been in a Punjabi prison. And that doesn't pay off.
I actually forgot. God, you've just reminded me that. I actually forgot that was the finish to the Hell in a Cell match, was AJ tapping out when Joe had the pin. Because that's
not played into
that's
anything.
Not played into anything since
It was
then.
such a good finish.
God, I didn't even think about that. That's another shame about this feud, actually. But yeah, no, I forgot about that.
Well, should we get on with the rest of the show?
It's a SmackDown review, Maggle. I love it. We got us a flying Uso.
We're actually in chronological order for a change because we opened with the first segment.
Yep.
So after that,
You'll never hear the names AJ and Joe on this on this review again.
Unless we go, where were AJ and Joe? So next up, we had R-Truth and Carmella, still a babyface, versus Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. Kind of, I was like, why is Mixed Match Challenge on SmackDown? And then I remembered Vega and Almas aren't a team, and they're probably the most logical team to have in that tournament.
Well, Rusev and Lana.
Yeah.
And Naomi and Jey Uso. The letter J Uso. I'm not saying if it's Jay or Jimmy, the letter J Uso.
Well, I would say it's Rusev Day and Zelina and Almas.
Yeah.
Like, Naomi and Uso aren't really...
Mr. J Uso.
They're not an act on TV.
That's very true,
Occasionally they interact, but they're largely kept apart. It was another bad week of ratings for them.
Oh, yeah.
It peaked at 48,000 viewers.
Mate, that's what we do.
Yeah.
And we're not...
Yeah, we are true.
And it's you can kind of tell that the ratings haven't been great for Facebook Watch in terms of Mixed Match Challenge, because they did this on Raw as well, where they show you how to watch Facebook Watch. So it's not that people aren't watching the show, it's people don't know how to watch the show, and that's why ratings are bad.
Yeah, it can't be the problem with us and our uninspiring booking.
No.
And this, this tournament that we've told everyone means nothing and is weirdly out of continuity. It's their fault. They don't know how to find it.
They're just idiots.
Do you reckon next week, because it's another historic low for Raw, they beat last week's historic low with another historic low?
Yeah.
Not good at all.
Well, you say it's not good at all, but really it doesn't matter. Like, this is another topic for another video, but really it doesn't matter, because WWE stocks are like at the highest they've ever been.
It depends where you have your sights. In short term, sure, they've got loads of money, but long term, this is just going to chip away at your base. And the next time, in 5 years' time, when those deals come up for renewal,
well, that's what I was going to say. It's a 5 years' time thing. But at the moment, I would imagine that they probably aren't that worried.
Well, they should be.
Also, because they're moving to Fox as well. SmackDown is. And yeah, maybe they've probably got plans in mind to move it to the network regardless.
In my opinion, they should be worried. And let me finish my joke.
Sorry, absolutely.
So next week on Raw, I bet they'll have, they're like, oh, by the way, this is how you select the channel we're on. Ha ha, funny joke, Ollie.
It was hilarious.
Thanks. So this was a match. It was
I
fine.
thought this was quite fun, actually.
Fine.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I thought the finish was really good.
Yeah. So that was, Carmella's head scissor. She does this before, but it felt better as a baby face.
Yeah.
Looked badass.
It looked
It's
pretty good.
A head scissor choke.
Yeah, the Code of Silence, I believe it's called. But she did that, like she reversed Vega's pin to lock in.
Yeah.
It actually looked really good. And yeah, so this puts over Mixed Match Challenge. And it was what it was. They did the dance break, crowd chanted for Truth TV. I did like when Phillips pointed out that he pointed out to Corey Graves, like, you used to really like Carmella. And Corey just quietly went, yeah, things change.
Like Carmella's character.
Carmella's a babyface now.
This was fun. Almas had a moment with Carmella where he broke up the pin, and usually you don't get the male on female stuff, so R-Truth took out Almas. And yeah, I mean, Carmella, this is the most I've enjoyed Carmella for ages.
I've not enjoyed Carmella this much all year long.
Yeah, who would have thought, like,
Yeah.
a random babyface turn
Yeah, it really
without the title and paired with R-Truth
Yeah.
is the way to take her character.
Because I really did not get on with her as champion. I really didn't like that
Famously.
stretch. I just didn't get on with it because an inconsistent character was really, really growing my gears. But I'm really enjoying her here because it's a consistent character.
Yeah, and
that's good.
Compared to, it's just the other women on the roster are so, like, Asuka, Naomi, Charlotte, Becky, they're the people who should be at the top of the division. So to have Carmella inserted in there, although a very good promo, it's awkward. But now she's sort of where she should be.
Yeah.
It's like Jinder last year, He's great as a mid-card act, but not to be suddenly pushed into the main event.
And I'd also say as well that Carmella, in this current position she's probably the third most interesting female character on the SmackDown brand.
Yeah. Yeah, can't argue with that.
Might even be the second.
So after that, we had an angry Ty Dillinger backstage. So angry. He did not say hello to Paige. He just stormed right up to her and went, I want Randy Orton, allegedly. And Paige was like, oh, a hello to you too.
Yeah, it was quite a funny little segment. And then she was like, Ty Dillinger was really angry because he was like, no, I want a match with Randy Orton. She was like, did you not see what he did to Jeff Hardy in Hell in a Cell?
He moved out the way. Brutal.
And Ty was like, I don't care. I want to have this match. And she just went, I don't get men. I don't understand men. You can have the match.
Sexist. I found this horribly misogynistic. No, the opposite.
The opposite.
What's the opposite to misogynistic? Mrs.gistic. I don't know. But yeah, I like how they're playing up that Jeff Hardy hasn't been seen since Hell in a Cell. He's on every house show. But I like that. It's like it makes Randy Orton, seem even more dangerous.
Yeah.
Then and she let the Orton Ty Dillinger match happen for later on. Mm-hmm. Then we got the newest New Day segment, which is, I guess, like a highlight reel or a Kevin Owens show kind of thing.
Well, I think
it
this
was
was
billed
like a
as
1 week thing, really, wasn't
New
it?
Day Cooks. I wouldn't be surprised if this was franchised out.
Oh, yeah? I thought this might just be a 1 week gimmick.
So.
Just to well, I was going to say, I was trying to find a tweet that I got sent this morning. Oh, can I find it now? The internet's
Good luck
not
without internet.
Yeah, the internet's not that strong in this room.
Was it the one that said which side?
It was from Cody saying, "I can't wait to see what side of annoying Ollie Davis and Luke Owen think the New Day were on this week." So, what side of annoying do you think they were on this week?
We should have like a because usually this is borderline for me. I didn't find them annoying or entertaining. Mm-hmm. So we could just do that Inception dreidel finish. It's still spinning.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, man, do you remember when Gallus and Anderson used to have the Nerdometer?
Oh, yeah.
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 Just one of those.
Who are they? Where are these guys?
I don't know. Probably now.
Where is AJ and Samoa Joe? So it was the New Day in the ring, and they had a kind of cooking thing set up. The ring was dressed, and they've got Mr. Booty's Worth.
No, it's just Booty Worth. Because I wrote Booty's Worth initially as well, but then they said it was Booty Worth, so I had to amend my notes. That's the only reason I know that for sure.
And he was revealed to be the pancake chef. He's the guy that prepares all these pancakes, and he's going to share the recipe, speak for the first time, but the bar's music interrupted. I liked that moment.
Yeah,
I liked
nice.
Big E's joke at the start. Just a word for our sponsors, Ico Pro.
Yeah, that was good.
Of course, a joke at the expense of Vince McMahon's failed protein brand in the early 90s. When Raw first launched, if you're not familiar, there's the big Ico Pro banners in the old Manhattan Center.
Yeah.
They brought them back for Raw 25 this year.
Which is a nice touch.
A lovely touch, yeah. But yeah, the bar came down.
Woods was very upset. He said they were going to send this pilot to Guy Fieri. Do you know who Guy Fieri is?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big fan of his show Diners, Drive-Ins and Dives on Food Network.
Right, okay.
So I like him. I mean, Guy Fieri is quite an easy person to make fun of because he looks like he'd have been a massive fan of Sum 41 in 2001 and hasn't changed his look since then.
So that's why you
Yes,
like
I
him.
like it because I look the same way. He wears his sunglasses on the back of his head.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he's got blonde spiky hair.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like Crazy Town. What were
Yeah,
they called?
Crazy Dan. Yeah, you're my
Yeah.
butterfly, sugar baby.
So the bar get into the ring, and Sheamus says, "Hey, well, Cesaro's Swiss. He knows a few things about pastries. Pastry Week on Great British Bake Off last night. Shout out, go and watch
Don't
it.
spoil it. I haven't
not
seen
watched it?
I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't see it.
It was one of the best episodes of
No
Bake Off.
way.
I was
Or
on the
ever.
edge of my seat.
I'm not going to see it tonight either because me and wife are going to the cinema.
Well, do you know what else you're going to miss tonight? This is a bit off topic.
What, Taskmaster?
But I only found out that it's my favourite show on normal television.
The Apprentice.
Starts tonight.
No, it doesn't. Does it really?
It does, 9
No
o'clock.
way.
Cancel the movie
Oh,
trip.
I may have to actually, to be honest.
I've cancelled my writing group. I'm like, sorry, we're going to have to postpone for 10 weeks.
Yeah, because The Apprentice is back
Yeah.
on. Oh, mate.
Get in.
Yes. Love The Apprentice.
Business.
Oh, it is. Muppets doing business. Can't wait.
So anyway, Cesaro is pastry is whatever. They attack the New Day. They throw flour everywhere, and they lay out the New Day and pour pancake mixture into Bootyworth's hat, put it on his head, and then pour more mixture over him. And Bootyworth sold this very well. I did enjoy Bootyworth, or Booty's Worth.
I think it's just Bootyworth.
Bootyworth.
I'll be honest, I'm just thinking about The Apprentice now.
Yeah.
And just I'm thrilled because Celebrity MasterChef has just finished. I was looking for a fix of things to watch on TV.
People, say, what is it like to be a YouTuber? And, that's our lives. We get up early to watch wrestling, and then we watch
The Apprentice
The
and
Apprentice in the
MasterChef
evening.
and Taskmaster.
So, so where would you put the
Oh, well,
annoying
I
dreidel?
said in the review they were on the wrong side of annoying this week.
Not massively,
Not
though.
massively, but I thought the best thing about the segment was Bootyworth, and he didn't say a word.
Yeah.
So that was less annoying, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, I
I like the
Bootyworth.
bar. I like the bar in it as well. I thought Cesaro had a really weird, 'cause they said that he's Swiss, so he knows a thing or two about pastries, and then Cesaro just goes, "Yep, my friends call me chef."
Yeah, and then
And
Sheamus was like, yeah, that's genuine.
Yeah.
They actually do call him chef.
To utter silence because the crowd had no idea how to react to such an odd line.
I think it's one of those in-jokes.
It clearly was an in-joke.
I liked how Sheamus, Sheamus. No, but that's like all of this is fake.
Yeah, but that's real.
It's true.
He's
Like I
really
found this out yesterday.
He's a really good chef.
Cesaro's Swiss friends called him chef. What a nerd! I would love to go around Cesaro's house.
Well, for food.
And he could cook us food. We could appreciate coffee together. Aiden English can come round. He can introduce us to some fine whiskies. Mm-hmm. Which we both struggle with, but we can pretend to like them.
You really want to get onto that bandwagon, don't you?
I think it'll make me more interesting.
Well, so this is off topic now, but we once went out for drinks. We went to a fancy gin bar, and I very much enjoy a gin. But you are not the biggest fan of gin, so you asked for a whiskey on the rocks because you thought that might make you look cool and interesting, and then you just at one point you just went, "This is horrible."
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying this.
That particular whiskey was like getting punched in the face every time I drank it.
I had a delightful gin cocktail. It was delicious.
So that happened,
Yeah.
and then we got tied in. Oh yeah, so that's the go-home angle for Super Showdown.
Well, in all fairness, like they've already done the singles matches, so you have to do something else, I guess, to
What
break
else
it.
could you do to make it
to break it up a
interesting?
little bit.
Not the hottest feud.
Hopefully
it'll be a good match.
Yeah. I'm not. There's a tag match later on that's less hot, but we'll come to that.
Ty Dillinger took on Randy Orton next in a cracking angle. Wasn't really a match because Ty just attacked Randy but like during Randy's entrance and got the better of him for about a minute.
Did Randy's backdrop onto the table? It was a great spot.
Kind of similar to how Ty got the better of Shinsuke last week in the opening couple of minutes of their match, just because he was so furious. I like what they're doing with Dillinger right now. I think I'm not going to say they're going to push him. This is like signifying a big push, but it is cementing him as a player in that mid-card.
Well, that's what I'm hoping as well, because last week I was slightly down on this because I just instantly assumed, and that's my fault, that they were just using Dillinger as essentially just like a plaything. He's just a body for Randy Orton to beat up, as opposed to we want to kind of turn this into a storyline where Ty Dillinger can get a bit of a rub off this, with him in there with Randy and possibly with Shinsuke as well. And he did actually, and Ty said, I'm going to deal with Shinsuke on another date. So I do hope, like you, that this is going to go somewhere and not just be a setup for someone to save Ty Dillinger down the line. Like at like we've been saying at SmackDown 1000, Rey Mysterio or something like that, because that's Randy's rumoured next feud is with Rey. So I don't want this to just using Ty for the next couple of weeks just to fuel a Rey return and then Ty fade back into obscurity.
Thanos away. But I showed real good fire here. Orton cuts him off with a draping DDT off the barricade though, and then the gears start turning. Those voices in his head, and he sees that, like, first off, he takes off the steel steps. So he separates the steel steps. You're like, oh, what's he going to do here? And just like I know that John Cena feud went on forever, but Randy would have his moments back in like 2008, 2009, where he'd just like look for different awful things to do to people. And I love it when you can see him thinking about what's the next hideous thing he's going to do.
Listening to the voices,
and
it's
he's
good.
Bringing that character back and then some here. And he sees the connector between the ring post. Well, so is that the turnbuckle? That connecting bit?
No, the turnbuckle is when you take the pad off.
Yeah, that's the end.
That's the exposed turnbuckle.
Yeah, or is that whole element?
I mean, I think I just called it. I think I called it a bar. Not the bar, but I called it a bar in my review. But I don't know the technical term for it. That's just a guess on my part. It very well may be the turnbuckle itself.
Yeah, so whatever that bit is.
Well, that's one of our wrestling friends.
Yeah, Randy's looking at it.
Well, that's Cesaro when he goes around we go around to his house.
Yeah, and there's a separate, there's a bit in the middle where you could, like, conceivably put a digit. So he's like, okay, I'm going to do that. And he gets Ty's finger and he puts it in there and he just bends it back. And it's such a safe spot. He's probably not even, he's not, it's just people selling. It's all the magic is behind his hands. It's your mind filling in the blanks of pain. And I was wincing watching this as he was bending it back, and then he did a sort of snap move to make it look like he'd broken the finger off. Joint manipulation. It was a really visceral moment. And the reason I like it even more, I didn't hear you say this in your SmackDown review earlier. 10.
He can't do the 10. Someone shouted that from the crowd.
Can't do the 10.
Like, Randy, he can't do 10 anymore. There was one guy who was audibly on camera going like, I don't know what you're going to do, Randy. What you got planned? Oh no, Randy!
Get him on commentary.
Well, yeah, because this is when Corey Graves said it was one of the worst attacks he's ever seen. And I'm like, in the grand scheme of Randy Orton attacks in the last 6 weeks, it's fairly low on the low down, I would say.
Yeah, he moved out the way of a Jeff Hardy bump.
Yeah, I thought the finger in the ear hole was much worse than this.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how these are completely safe things, and they're very tiny, actually. Earlobes, fingers, but and I really like the rubbing of the face paint off.
Yeah,
it's targeting someone in a physical way that actually ties in very neatly to their character.
Yes.
With the tie 10. I really appreciate it.
And I'll be honest, and I didn't pick up on that, which is very much on me. But I think that's actually a really nice touch.
A lot of attention has gone into that attack, and genius.
Good stuff. I thought it was the second best thing on the show.
Then we had a backstage segment with Shelton Benjamin, who I forgot existed.
Well, I think I saw someone talking about this on Twitter, that he was trying to get a match, and then that turned into this one. He got a match with Daniel Bryan. And the Miz walked in, and Miz actually says, "You're welcome. I saw your tweet. I put the call in. I got you this match. It wasn't you. I got you this match. But I need you to hurt Daniel Bryan. I need you to not just win. You need to make a statement." It was good. I thought the Miz was good.
Yeah.
And Shelton said he's been on the bench for too long, which is very true.
He's really been underused. It was the last thing was the Chad Gable stuff, and then Chad Gable went to Raw. Was that in April?
Superstar shakeup, I would imagine.
Was it even a superstar shakeup? Did they even announce? I don't know. So next up, we got the other follow-up to the last week's big cliffhanger. So you had the Samoa Joe, AJ Styles home invasion angle. How were they going to follow up that? Not very well. But there was also what happened in Milwaukee.
Yes,
which was Milwaukee. And Aiden English, if you're not familiar with this, claimed that he had kind of essentially a sex tape of Lana or something nefarious on Lana.
He hasn't said exactly what it is. He's just calling it that night in Milwaukee that Lana never told Rusev about. And he called this segment One Night in Milwaukee, which is a reference to, well, a lot of sex tape titles, including one starring a former WWE star, unfortunately. God bless her. And it was a video of, and I like this as well because, so Rusev and Lana come out and they're like, Aiden, you come out here and you show your evidence. I don't believe you've got this evidence. And Aiden comes out and he's all cocky. We got told off last week because we didn't mention that Aiden's got new merchandise. And he starts stalling for time. He's like, I'm going to show you this clip. But first of all, I want to tell you some facts about Milwaukee, which I thought was really good. And some things I didn't even know. I didn't know that Love Actually was filmed there.
Tear-jerking dramas, he said, like Love Actually and Basketball. It's a great line. I feel like we spoke about Basketball last week.
It was last week because there was a guy on the sign that had, he was dressed up like the Milwaukee Bears and had a sign that said, your mum's going out with Squeak.
Maybe Aiden saw that, and that was it
could be.
So so eventually he plays the clip, and he was actually shown backstage asking the production truck to cue it up beforehand. So
continuity.
Well done.
It's because Road Dogg watches this show and listens.
Oh yeah, and it's a clip in portrait mode.
Well, he is a heel,
just like Samoa Joe last week. But I did appreciate this, and it's Aiden English topless in a hotel room, and he is practicing his entrance for Rusev that night in Milwaukee. So he's going through,
just words that rhyme with Milwaukee. He's just practicing it. Maybe he just wants to show Rusev later on. But then there's a little rat-tat-tat at the door, and it's only Lana.
And Lana walks in looking very sheepish. And, she says how she's wanted to say something for quite some time. And I really need to say it out loud to you. I want you.
Boom. Cut the tape off. It's a genius move.
Yeah.
This is tremendous. Because that's brilliant. It's a line that could be anything. Like, I want you to interfere in a match later on. I want you to be at Rusev's side. It could be anything. I want you to go and get me a coffee. Like, there's so many things that could be said there. But when taken out of context, those three words do sound like Lana wanted to cheat on Rusev. Like, it's brilliant as well because, and Aiden is just like, I would love to show you the rest of the tape. There's more, but I would love to show you more, but I've got to deal with TMZ. And then had my favorite line of the show, and it was like, and I certainly wouldn't want to cheat on that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. This is awesome.
Yeah, and when that clip plays and it's cut off, it goes to the ring, and Lana doesn't look outraged. She kind of looks a bit nervous, and I fully believe that this is all a ruse by Aiden, and it's not nefarious at all. But I'm kind of worried that Lana might have done something.
Yeah,
and I understand Rusev. Like, that makes it more believable to empathise with Rusev when he because Lana said, "Oh no, but Rusev, there's more." But, there's
Yeah.
more to that tape. That isn't the only bit I said. And Rusev says, there's more? Like, what you did more with that guy?
Yeah.
And then he snaps out of it and runs after English. So there, you can kind of empathize with multiple sides of this feud. It's very, very good. For me, I don't think it's quite clearly I want you in Rusev Day.
Yes.
Because the way it's built up, that I want to say it out loud. I've been thinking about this, and that kind of retroactively retrofits why Lana and Aiden were feuding, like they didn't like each other, and then suddenly Rusev Day was a coherent whole.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, who knows what the end of the sentence was? But I think you're more or less on the button there. But I loved this. I thought this was really, really great.
Yeah, and then later on, Rusev is still looking for English, but Lana catches up with him.
Somehow she overtook him.
Yeah, well, I think Rusev was just running round, and Lana goes, let me explain, and Rusev says, let's not do this here, and storms off.
We'll have this argument at home in private. Love that.
Can't wait for that to pay off at Super Showdown.
Yep. I think they're going to build this up as a big angle for SmackDown 1000. I think that's where you want to do the big payoff, like the big reveal as to whether or not it was all a ruse by Aiden or whether Lana did do nefarious things. And you build it like as your big, almost like, they do weddings on like big shows and things like that. Like you build it as a big storyline conclusion for SmackDown 1000.
That'd be really nice.
Yeah, I think that'd be really good.
And then they can hopefully all get back together again and be Rusev Day again.
Yes. Yeah. I was thinking about this with SmackDown 1000 because they were talking about this with the Randy Orton thing. He's going to be back there with Evolution, that famous SmackDown faction Evolution that only ever appeared on Raw. This Randy Orton's going to feel very weird in that segment.
With Batista, Triple H,
and Ric Flair. What I don't want is Randy Orton to just go out of character and just be like Evolution Randy Orton. Or worse, Triple H to make jokes about it.
Yeah.
Because that's where my mind is going, is that Triple H is going to be go into Triple H mode, smarky Triple H mode, and just start making jokes about it.
I've been looking forward to SmackDown 1000 as kind of a mini pay-per-view, but you're right. It could be a Raw 25 out of continuity special.
I know.
No. Yeah. Oh, well, next up we got Shelton Benjamin versus Daniel Bryan, which was, it was a good match.
Yeah, did you see Bryan with the flying headbutt?
So, yeah. Like,
I wish he'd stop doing it.
So what happened? Daniel Bryan does a flying headbutt off of the top rope. Shelton rolls out the way, doesn't roll far enough. Him and Daniel Bryan collide heads. And that's got all the momentum of Daniel Bryan jumping off the top rope, gravity straight into each other's craniums. Daniel Bryan retired due to concussions. He talked about adapting his style so it's safer when he comes back.
Stop doing that.
That's the first one to go.
First one to go, yeah.
No one's going to miss that move. And you look at the long list of people who have done that move, and it has, come back to haunt them physically or mentally later in life. Chris Benoit, Dynamite Kid.
I was going to say, Dynamite Kid, he said in interviews, I wish I never did that move. I wish I never popularized that move.
Yeah.
Because it's a move that people just wanted to emulate because they wanted to be like me. And now I'm in a wheelchair.
It's weird that earlier in the day or earlier in the week, Daniel Bryan had taken a lot of fans to task for being so vocal against Brie Bella. That debate, Brie Bella's botch against Liv Morgan, that debate aside, let's be fair here, Daniel Bryan, that was stupid.
Yeah, not the smartest thing.
No.
I mean, no one knows his body better than him, but it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Knowing that, he did have to retire due to head injuries. And maybe that's just on me. Daniel Bryan probably knows better. He probably thinks he's okay. And that's fine. If he thinks it's okay, then more power to him. But it's like when Bret Hart came back and they were doing lots of angles where he sort of almost kept falling over. And it panged me with worry every single time he stepped into the ring. Because I'm like, dude, I do not want you falling over and being crippled on live TV.
Yeah, so Benjamin works over Bryan's ribs for a bit. That will probably play into the match this Saturday. Great way to put in a story point just before the end. And Bryan nearly had it won, but Miz gets up on the apron. He was on commentary for the whole thing. He's about to be knocked down by Bryan. He gets knocked down by Bryan, sorry. Goes for the knee on Benjamin, but Benjamin counters it and wins.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had Benjamin win here, a guy who hasn't been on TV for many, many months, getting a win over Daniel Bryan. And he wasn't even there wasn't brass knucks involved, the hardest punch in WWE from Miz. He only was just distracted for a bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of this.
I said in the review, I'm not a fan of wrestlers in high-profile matches losing on go-home shows because, I don't see the point in having people lose.
Yeah. Especially to, unfortunately, Shelton Benjamin is nothing at the moment. That's how he's been presented by WWE. So, yeah, doesn't really help anyone.
Yeah, this win doesn't feel like it does anything for Shelton, and it almost hurts Bryan. Really. But the key to it, as you said, was that Miz was working over, Shelton was working over Bryan's ribs, and then Miz started throwing him into the announcer's table afterwards and hit the Skull Crusher finale in the middle of the ring, targeting those ribs. So he's got the Ronda Rousey injury now. Yeah. So we'll see how that plays into Super Showdown.
Oh, man, I really want Bryan to win so he can go for the title now.
I'm pulling for Miz to win.
I like Miz. But this feud's made me sour on him a bit.
Oh, yeah?
Both guys, it's flattened them out for me.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, it's flattened out both lads,
Which is crazy, but I think Daniel Bryan has a lot more upside going against either Joe or AJ. I'm fully weighted behind wanting Bryan to win in terms of future storylines. Bryan has to be at the top of the card now. He's re-signed. He's got the Miz feud out the way. He needs to be in the title picture.
Well, I mean, either that or it's, I was thinking Miz wins and then you have the put your number one contendership on the line, I'll put my career on the line.
That could be a good step.
I almost feel like with the way that this feud has been building, it almost feels like that should be the payoff, is that Bryan wants to put his career on the line, and that's when he gets the big win over The Miz.
Well, that should have been at SummerSlam. A lot of Raw recaps. I only noted it down here. There was about 3 lengthy ones of the Shield and thingy, but it's to sell Super Showdown.
Yeah.
And then we got Asuka versus Peyton Royce. Asuka won.
Yep. It's the same.
God, I can't wait for the Super Showdown match.
Remember yesterday when I said I was more interested in this match than I was the Riot Squad?
And I said that's ridiculous.
And I was like, no, do you know what? I think I do. I think I am. I might be wrong. I really like the Iconics. I really like Asuka. I really like Naomi. But man alive, this feud is utter pants. Yeah. It's nailed. There's so much more heat in Randy Orton and Ty Dillinger and Rusev and Aiden English. Neither of those are at Super Showdown, but this is. And this is a nothing feud. I was trying to recap it in my notes. So week 1, it's like fantasy booking warfare. Week 1, Billie Kay beat...
We should do that again.
Billie Kay beat Naomi, and then Peyton Royce beat Naomi. So that was 2 weeks in a row. I might have got that slightly out of order. And then Naomi defeated one of them. But then she got in a 2-on-1 beatdown, and Asuka made the save. So Naomi's already beaten one of them in a fair match. And then I think Asuka and Naomi then beat Absolution, and then Asuka's just beaten both of them the last couple of weeks. How can anyone be interested in a match between these two teams?
I'm certainly not.
No, if there was a pre-show for this card, this would have to be on the pre-show.
Yeah, I totally get booking the Iconics there. I think that's a very smart idea. It's their home country, but the Asuka Naomi pairing is ridiculous as well. An awful waste. So one of the things, along with the New Day, which side of annoying are they this week? People have been getting in touch with me on Twitter about, hey, do you hate this charity segment as well?
You absolute monster.
Because before Asuka came out, Naomi was in the ring to introduce some people from the Susan G. Komen, not Coleman. I just wasn't paying attention.
Because you just hate charities.
And Dana Warrior was out there. Yeah. So did I hate it? No. But at least it was a babyface doing it. Mm-hmm. It was awkward as all hell and fudged in there. And I researched the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and they aren't that great.
Well, it's probably best you don't look into that in too much detail. Yeah, it's a lot like a lot of WWE foundations. There's a lot of not a lot of great stuff to be read.
Allegedly.
Then
we got some mixed match challenge promos. Jimmy Uso and Naomi, fine, and Lana and Rusev on the same page.
Yeah.
After
it was pre-recorded, obviously.
It's sloppy though. Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I mean, I
have that earlier on.
I haven't seen Mixed Match Challenge. I haven't seen anything from Mixed Match Challenge this season.
Not many people have.
Not many people have, but I don't know if that was played up. In fact, the only thing I've seen from Mixed Match Challenge that match was they did a spot where Jimmy Uso. So Jimmy Uso put the Rikishi sunglasses on Rusev.
Are you going by my notes?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Jimmy and Jay is interchangeable sometimes when I'm writing stuff down.
I feel so bad for them.
They're identical twins.
I know, but I feel really bad that we never get it right. But they did do
one of them needs to get a boob job. Then I can tell them apart.
Wear a cap backwards.
Yeah.
So they did they put the Rikishi sunglasses on Rusev. So he's so devastated by all of this Milwaukee business. He's quite happy to have a little bit of fun in the ring.
Yeah. Well, you got to blow off steam. It must be stressful.
Yeah.
Your wife being
with your wife at ringside. Yeah.
But the main event segment, it was built throughout the night. Becky Lynch has a surprise for us. Not a big surprise.
No.
I wouldn't have built it this way.
No.
Because
this didn't feel like a main event segment.
Yeah, it was a poster. It was a funny I thought Becky's promo was
Becky
excellent.
was so great.
Yeah. She introduced her own video package. And
she's a heel.
Which was she introduced her own video package, which definitively portrayed her as the heel.
Yeah.
So why even try and explain these things? But it comes back to the crowd cheering for her.
Absolutely. And she was like, wasn't that great? Hey! And everyone was like in agreement. Yes, it was great. It was a brilliant video package that made you look like a badass. And you are a badass. You're such a good promo. And she told the very true thing of, I'm the best thing on SmackDown since SummerSlam. 100% in full agreement with you there. Absolutely 100%. And then, covering here, she's the heel, folks. And then she points out again, it's this completely being justified in her actions. Despite being champion, she's still not on the front covers of magazines. I mean, I don't know, does WWE still have a magazine?
Sure.
Kids magazine, probably.
It was cancelled. I don't know. Carry on.
Yeah, so she's not on the cover of magazines. She's not on the posters. She's not on billboards or anything like that, which is all true. She even retweeted that she's not on the poster for Super Showdown, while Nia Jax is. She's not on the show. Bray Wyatt's on the poster. He's not on the show. Finn Balor's on the poster. He's not on the show. But Becky Lynch.
Bray Wyatt.
But I mean, the reason why she's not on the poster is because it was announced back in May or whenever it was, and they weren't really doing anything with her at that point. But she still makes an excellent point. She's not been on the poster. So she unveiled her new poster for Super Showdown, which paid off from the angle last week where she beat up Charlotte during the photography, and she was standing on her back holding up her title, and that's the poster. And it is so much better than the poster that they've got for Super Showdown. Because there are two ways of doing WWE pay-per-view posters at the moment. It's either people standing there smiling with a picture of the arena, or it's Braun Strowman as a demon.
Yeah. Neither super effective. No. I saw a really nice fan-made poster of Super Showdown, and what they did is they just taken out a lot of the faces. So you had Triple H and Undertaker and Charlotte and Becky Lynch. And what? That's kind of like what boxing does. You build a card around one super or two big fights, your main events. Because it's almost choice paralysis. If you put everyone on the card, it's overwhelming. You don't know where to look. But this way, it's a lot more focused on the big main draws. But WWE is the draw, right?
They're the
not
brand,
the performers, which of course we disagree with. But this was good. Not so surprising. But and not really like the main event go home angle.
It really wasn't.
That the show probably deserved. Charlotte runs
Oh,
down.
before that, Becky had a great line where she said, "This Super Showdown isn't about Triple H and Undertaker. It's about me as champion." I was like, "This is great." Yeah, but then Charlotte ran down to booze, and she beat up Becky to
Heavily booed.
to more booze, and then she suplexed her through the poster and locked into the figure four to even heavier booze, and then the crowd started chanting for Becky. So, good job, guys. Just go with it. You've got something, just go with it. I know you've got plans. You've got this vision in your mind that Charlotte is the face of the women's division on SmackDown Live. I get that's what you're going for. But if it's not working, then just don't do it. If you're building Lego, so if you've got a Lego set, and you're building a Lego set, and you suddenly realise...
Keith Lee's just gone. We're building Lego now.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
You suddenly realise, I've missed out some really key pieces here. And now it's all wobbling all over the show. And if I put this next to all of my other Lego pieces, it's going to look really rubbish because it's just falling around. And if someone bangs into this table, the whole thing's crumbling down. That's Charlotte at the moment. That's Charlotte as the face of the SmackDown women's division. She is a wobbly Lego structure that's got lots of pieces missing. But if you went against that and just let's push her as the heel and don't change Becky's character, then you've got something to go with there. It's such a shame because, as I said in the review, all they've done is they've turned her into the female Roman Reigns, and that sucks. That really sucks because Charlotte should be so much better than just being pigeonholed as the female Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
she's even got the spear.
And yeah, God, she has, hasn't she? And yeah, that Lego metaphor is so universal. I think that's hit home with many people.
Thanks, man. Keith Lee in particular.
Well, overall, you gave this a high smack bang in the middle.
That's because I really enjoyed the Aiden English and the Randy Orton stuff. As I said in the review, my beef with this show wasn't really that it was a bad show. It was a bit of a lackluster go-home show. And actually, all of the angles they did to promote Super Showdown were pretty rubbish. But all the angles they did to promote not Super Showdown were really good.
Yeah, Orton stuff was great.
Yep.
Like you said, the Lana English stuff was really good.
And I had fun with the Fabulous Truth at the start of the show.
Yeah, but that was all on the net. It was a fine show. So I just gave it smack bang in the middle. But that's all we've got time for. Please click the videos that have just appeared on our laps to catch up with the latest WrestleTalk things, and this button right here, which will make you a pledge hammer on Patreon. We need more pledge hammers to keep our NXT reviews going, which start tomorrow. I've been Ollie Davis. This has been Luke Owen, the other one, and that was Rambling.